Hi, my name is Al Soulier. I was born in Windsor about 70 years ago. Um, I was born, raised Catholic, went through the Catholic school system, never had a problem. Parents took us to church every week. Had a good childhood, good parents. Even though my dad died young, had a good childhood. Okay, a lot of you might know my wife Sherry. We met 53 years ago on a blind date in Essex at a hockey game. A friend of mine and a cousin of hers, uh, and it was everything go from there. We dated for a while, then got married, and had a good long run. We've got 4 kids. Our oldest was born in 72, Adam. Then Chad came along in 74. Nick was born in 79. And our baby Carrie was born in 1981. We lost our third oldest son, Nicholas, when he was 18 years old in a car accident. He was so full of life. He was very musical. He played guitar. He loved hockey, pretty much any sport. Um, he was a good kid. He was killed in a car accident on his way to Windsor. It was his birthday. His girlfriend was taking him out for dinner, and someone ran a stoplight and broadsided him. It was very difficult. I went to a dark place. I was having a really hard time. For about a year, I struggled. I was angry uh, until I decided I needed help. So I went to my family doctor, and I did get help. And within a few months, I started to feel better. I think that's all I needed was a little push. And yeah, I never got over it, but I learned to live with it. And I am living with it. It was about 4 or 5 years after we lost Nick. Uh, I felt empty. I felt something missing in my life, like a hole in my heart. I needed something. I always felt like I had a relationship with God. I always felt that God had my back. Uh, but it was a community. It was the friends. I needed good Christian friends. That's probably what I was lacking most in my life. Were friends that you could rely on, you could talk with and cry with if you had to. Uh, I was missing that. That's the reason I wanted to find a church. Yeah, when my youngest brother Stubby was sick, he had heart disease. I used to go up to the hospital, visit him, and then went visit him at home. And he ran a business where he knew a lot of people, but there was nobody there for him. Nobody knew what to say to him. So they just stayed away. Nobody came around. He was alone all the time. So I tried to get there as much as I could. And after his passing, I just felt it on my heart that I wanted to do something. Uh, I don't know, it may be in remembrance of him or because of him, but I knew if he was struggling with loneliness and depression, there must be a lot of other men out there feeling the same way. So I was looking around for an organization to volunteer with, and I called different ones. I ended up with hospice because it was one of the few organizations that were willing to train you. They gave you everything you needed to do the job properly. They gave you the tools that you needed and all the support you needed. Uh, they were a really good organization to deal with, and they still are. It's been 10 years, and I've been doing respite for that 10 years, visiting men at home that are lonely, that have no one else there. It gives the spouse a break to take off for a few hours. I've met some incredible men, Um, and it is very hard to lose them. I lose every patient I've had, I've lost. That takes a toll, but like God is just in the back of my head all the time. You can do it. Just keep doing it. The men appreciate it. So I keep doing it. And I will keep doing it as long as I can. When I first got involved with hospice, uh, they kept telling me that it's not a Christian organization. Like, we can't talk religion unless someone asks what you believe, or then if they open the door, you can go a little ways in. And after being there for this long, I've seen most people that actually work for hospice are Christians. Uh, I've had many men ask me my beliefs, what I think is waiting for me when this life is over. And I tell them exactly what I think. I've had the odd man ask me to pray with them, which I didn't think I could ever do, but God's there. God's got my back. Like, He puts the words in my mouth that I need to say. I don't know where they come from, because it's definitely not me saying them. But they always seem to come. And what the client needs to hear is usually what God puts in my mouth to say. I think the best thing I did after I started with FGT, or Lake Point, was get involved. I first of all, I got involved with men's Bible study. Did that for years. That was incredible. That really got me thinking. I learned a lot from very smart Christian men. But then from there, we joined a small group, life group. It was the same thing. That's where my connection with some of the men that I'm very good friends with now, that's where it started. That's what got me thinking about what I needed to do with the rest of my life. I wanted to volunteer, and it got me thinking of what I need to volunteer with, like the areas I need to improve on, areas I needed to work with. I've seen so many lonely people out there. I just wanted to do something to make a little bit of a difference. So yeah, small groups was probably one of the biggest factors in my volunteering. This year I'm writing on my wall the 3 most important men in my life: my father, my son, and my brother.